There is a kind of respect that cannot be asked for. It cannot be bought with money, earned through clever words, or forced with power plays. Real respect comes quietly. It is not announced. It is not demanded. It is recognized. It happens when people feel the weight of someone's presence, when they sense composure, when they realize nothing can easily move or shake that person. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius, who held the most powerful position in the world, reminded himself daily not to seek applause or validation, but to live in harmony with his values. Seneca wrote letters urging his friends to never compromise their dignity, no matter how tempting it was to please others. Epictetus, once a slave, taught that the strongest person is not the one who can control others, but the one who controls themselves. To demand respect without words, one must embody it, not by performance, not by appearances, but by living according to principles so deeply that others cannot help but notice. These Stoic lessons, drawn from their wisdom and shaped for modern life, are timeless, and if practiced, they create a life where respect is inevitable. The first lesson is to never lower yourself for approval. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." Respect dies the moment you bend yourself out of shape just to be accepted. How many times do people silence themselves, exaggerate who they are, or compromise their values just to be liked? It feels easy in the moment, but it leaves a bitter taste, because deep down you know you've given away a piece of yourself. The Stoics taught that true dignity comes from within. When you stop begging to be noticed and instead embody the principles you admire, people begin to recognize it on their own. Approval gained by lowering yourself is fragile. Respect gained by integrity is permanent. The second lesson is presence. Epictetus reminded his students, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." Presence is not about being the loudest in the room. It is about living in such alignment with your values that people feel your steadiness. Think of the difference between someone who talks endlessly about discipline and someone who quietly lives it every single day. The first may be heard for a moment, the second is remembered for a lifetime. Presence does not mean arrogance. It means authenticity. No masks, no performance, just consistency between your inner world and outer actions. People respect those who are real, those who are whole, those whose lives do not need explanation. The third lesson is restraint. Seneca said, "No man is free who is a slave to his passions. Anyone can explode in anger, chase every desire, or collapse into jealousy. That is common, and what is common is not respected. What is rare is composure, the ability to remain calm when provoked, to choose patience when insulted, to think clearly when everyone else loses control." Modern psychology affirms what the Stoics already knew. Emotional regulation builds trust and commands respect. When people see that you are not easily thrown off course, that you can handle stress without breaking, they see strength. And strength, when silent, is unforgettable. The fourth lesson is detachment from outcomes. Epictetus warned, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear foolish and stupid." Too many people shape their entire lives around opinion. They obsess over what others think, seek constant validation, and fear rejection like death. But the one who can stand firm even when mocked, the one who continues their path even when misunderstood, that person earns respect. The paradox is simple. The less you need to be respected, the more respect you draw. Detachment is not indifference, it is freedom. Freedom from the chains of other people's judgments. When people see that you cannot be controlled by their opinions, they begin to respect you deeply because they wish they had the same freedom. The fifth lesson is to lead through example, not words. Seneca wrote, "Long is the road through precepts, short and effective through examples. Anyone can give advice, anyone can lecture on how others should live, but few actually live what they preach." The Stoics demanded self-mastery, not for applause, but because living with integrity was its own reward. And when others saw that consistency, respect followed naturally. You don't need to tell people you're disciplined if your actions show it. You don't need to declare you are honest if your choices prove it. Words fade, but a life lived with principle endures. Respect cannot be demanded. It must be embodied. It is not won by noise, but by presence. It is built by refusing to lower yourself, by carrying alignment between who you are and how you live, by practicing restraint when others collapse into chaos, by detaching from outcomes you cannot control, and by leading with quiet example. These are not tricks to impress people. They are transformations that shape you into someone whose very existence commands respect without a word spoken. If you live these lessons, something begins to shift. The constant hunger for approval fades. The endless need to explain yourself dissolves. The fear of rejection no longer holds you hostage. What grows in its place is steadiness, a calm center that cannot be moved by praise or insult. People begin to feel it around you. They may not know why, but they pause, they notice, and silently they grant you the respect that chasing never earned. Take a moment and reflect. Where are you still handing away your dignity? Where do you lose control, bend for recognition, or speak just to avoid silence? These questions aren't easy, but the answers shape who you become. Write them down, confront them, share them if you wish. Your truth might help someone fighting the same battle. If this message resonated, subscribe for more. The Stoics knew mastery is not instant, but built day by day, choice by choice, until it becomes your character. Start small. Carry one lesson today, another tomorrow. With time, you'll stop chasing respect and become the kind of person whose presence is respect itself, quietly, naturally, inevitably. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to avenge yourself is not to become like the wrongdoer. Live with such calm integrity that you need no defense, with such discipline that your silence has weight, and with such steadiness that in a noisy world, your presence speaks louder than any voice."